Okay, let's book club, guys.
Let's club the thing.
You take it, Elijah.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey everybody, welcome to what episode is this? 7, 8?
Let's see. You
Welcome
had the
to this
second,
episode.
fourth, sixth. Is this 8?
I think
this is episode 8.
This is 8.
Holy cow! All right. Well, welcome to episode 8 of the Book Club, the podcast, or bookclubcast.com. I'm Elijah Crowder.
Thank you for welcome. Are you welcoming me? Thank you. It's nice to be here.
I had to truncate that silence a little bit.
I'm Elijah Crowder. That's Ansel Crowder over here, and that's Dylan Crowder over there. And this week's book is Christopher Moore's Lamb. That's
Lamb. Hold up. Let's take it from the top. Let's get a cleaner opening on that. I'm sorry.
I like it when it's like a train wreck.
Unlistenable.
I do like it when it's an unlistenable
Let's make an audio podcast that is literally unlistenable.
I'm all for it.
It's very, very avant-garde.
Let's take it from the top. From the cans, it didn't sound so good.
All right, from the tip of the
Let's
top.
do take 2, guys.
Take 2. Hi, welcome to Book Club, the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about Lamb by Christopher Moore. And on this discussional journey that we're going to take, I've got my brothers. They're always here with me, and we always have a good time doing this. I'm Elijah Crowder.
I'm Ansel Crowder.
And I am Dylan Crowder.
All right.
Before we go much further, I just want to clear up, Elijah, you did not give the full title of the book.
Please give the full title.
I didn't, so let me do that now. The book is Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal by Christopher Moore. Yeah. And, all right, so a little bit about the book.
Before we get too much further into this, I was having a real hard time deciding how we were going to funnel this conversation towards Star Wars. I could not for the life of me figure out how to do that.
Well,
we'll find out. I mean, you'll be in suspense like everybody else.
Okay. The Force finds a way, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Take 8.
Take 8, episode 8. Christopher Moore's Lamb. All right, a little bit about the book. It was given to me by a friend a very long time ago, good friend, and I read it. I loved it. Thought it was pretty doggone funny. Gave it to my dad for Christmas a few years ago. Don't think he ever read it. I thought he'd get a kick out of one of the chapters being headed off with a John Prine quote. If you don't know who John Prine is, he's a pretty good folk singer that we all grew up listening to. Contemporary folk, I'm sorry. That was his Grammy that they made a category for him. About the book, it's about Jesus Christ and his friend Biff, and or we should say Levi, who is called Biff. And Levi, who is called Biff, is Jesus, Joshua, as he's referred to in the book by his Hebrew name. And he picks up the story. I think he meets Joshua when he's 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old. He meets the young Messiah, and it is their adventures, misadventures, silly trials and tribulations up until the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Joshua. We'll refer to him as Joshua for the rest of this podcast. For those of you who the too long didn't read, is when we say Joshua, we mean Jesus. Let's do it this way. Ansel, opening remarks.
I did not like this book.
Dylan, opening remarks.
It was a book that I did not enjoy very much. Hang on a second. We're having technical difficulties. But no, I did not care for it.
Really?
Really.
All right, I'm not picking any more books. This sucks, guys.
No, that's the thing. Like,
no.
He and I both talked about this. We both genuinely don't want to hurt your feelings, and we want you to pick books that you think that we'll like. But permanent record as this is, I can't be on it saying that I thought this book was okay because I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
That's so what we're here for. You thought it was terrible?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. This was supposed to be funny,
Jesus
right?
Jesus Christ, literally.
Well, Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua Jesus Cristo.
Okay, no, why is it terrible? Yes, it was supposed to be funny. It's hilarious.
It's not. That's the thing. It was supposed to be funny. I didn't laugh once when I read it. Like,
you've got to be kidding me. You didn't laugh
I'm serious.
Once.
No.
I laughed once. There was one part where somebody gets called, and pardon my language, I try to keep it clean on here, called him a fuck stick. I laughed at that, and it was mainly because of the term fuck stick.
I didn't laugh at all. The only time I came close to laughing, there was a scene where I think it was Gaspar, when they were, did he have like the monastery, and they went outside, and
Gaspar
they all
was the Buddhist monk, right?
And what's that?
Gaspar was the Buddhist monk, or
yeah. And they were meditating, I guess, to keep warm is what he was getting at, and Biff was trying to keep warm himself, but he couldn't reach that stage of meditation, so he used the others to sort of like build an igloo out of them or something like that. That kind of, it still wasn't a laugh. It was more like one corner of my mouth kind of moved, and I'm not even sure if it was upward or downward, but that's as close as it got. I just didn't find it funny at all. It's kind of like, I have a note here. In my notes that I wrote Jeff Dunham.
Can you expound on that at all?
Well, first of all, Elijah, do you know who Jeff Dunham is?
Yes. I do.
It's like, it's kind of like binge watching every Jeff Dunham stand-up thing. And I also have Geico written. It's like it's like having a friend compile every Geico commercial. And having to watch it. So that's the kind of response I had to the book. And I'm sorry, again, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
No, that's fine.
Right.
I mean,
and
you're
just
totally...
just so you know, everything that we say is coming from a place of love for you, but hatred for this book.
Yes, and also I'm not sure which friend turned you on to this, but I hate this
bad
person
friend.
too. Yeah, this person can go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. Whoever it is, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I have written down in my notes that it's kind of like Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey for like old church ladies, because like it seems like it's kind of written to be edgy and kind of offensive, but the offensive bit is Joshua, aka Jesus, doing kung fu. Like it was like he was trying to do like some shock some people, and it just didn't shock me. I didn't.
Yeah, same here. And I think like I was wondering what the audience exactly was, because it was a little too risque, a little too what's the word? A little too vulgar for people who are religious, or people who take their religion seriously. Maybe I should say, but if you don't take your religion that seriously and you can take criticism of it, there are better avenues. And to me, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what else to say. It was like
I think you've said enough. Let's hear from Elijah. See what he has to say.
Yeah, defend it, Elijah. You're in the hot seat here.
You guys are doing fine. Go
on. Let me see what else.
It's interesting.
Okay, I wrote Mel Brooks, and I was thinking
hold on, wait. It's interesting that you say that, because I read somewhere, and I tried to find it again, and I couldn't find it. And I think it was in the first copy I read of this book, which I don't have now. It was a little interview with him where he was talking about being approached. He did like a talking circuit at churches afterwards. And that he expected a lot of, spittle and venom from the religious crowd, and that they loved it. They ate it up. They thought it was great that someone had taken the story of Jesus Christ and given it some comedy finally, that was something it was missing.
Okay, so did he do readings from his book, I'm guessing?
Not in church, I would say. I think he went around talking about what kind of research he did before he wrote the book. I mean, and he researched it painstakingly. I don't know if you guys looked into that or not, but
yeah, I'll buy that. I think it's probably
he like all these little things in the book are really, they're in the New Testament as well. So like getting the demons out of Mary Magdalene, or Maggie as she's referred to in this book, that's in the New Testament. And now here it's like she's totally faking it just to get away from her fuckstick of a husband, basically.
Yeah, and I miss stuff like that because I have like zero interest in the Bible. So
that was another thing. Like when I was first trying to get into it, like I was kind of concerned that the reason I didn't like the book was because I was ignorant of the Bible. Like not,
I think we know it well enough. That's another thing I was thinking. Like growing up in the South, in the Bible Belt, it's just Bible this, Bible that. Here's this Bible. Take this Bible. Hey, you want a Bible burger? Or, it's just Bible everything. I'm just so sick of the Bible. I think I know it well enough to have followed it.
Wait. Bible burger? What's on a Bible burger? That sounds delicious.
It's got, I don't know. I didn't. That was
go as you are.
I bet it's decadent.
But yeah, I mean, I guess like if I weren't so sick of like
all things religious,
like being surrounded on all sides by religion all the time. Maybe I would have had a different response to this book. But yeah, growing up in the South.
All right. Well,
I don't find it cute or like it's not amusing to me.
Do you find that it kind of legitimizes Christianity more than you would care for it to be legitimized?
I don't know if. I'm not really sure. Could you rephrase that question?
Like we've talked off the air previously about whether Jesus was like a real person.
Oh yeah.
So like the very premise of the book is kind of, I don't know, antagonistic to what you believe.
I don't remember what I believe. Like I think I said that I'm not so sure he existed or not. But I kind of like give the benefit of the doubt. That's what Jesus would have done. So like, I say he probably existed, but even though I don't think there's enough empirical evidence, but it doesn't really matter to me. I don't think. I mean, his existence is kind of beside the point, I think. Anyway, I forgot what we were talking about.
I did too. Elijah,
I want to.
You probably know better than us. Is there?
Yeah, Elijah.
Is there ironclad, stone cold proof that Joshua, who is called Joseph, who is called Jesus of Nazareth, is that a real person?
Stone cold proof. No.
Like I'd always just assumed that there was like Roman documents that documented his existence.
Now, see,
at the very least.
There are, but they're exceedingly vague for what we're looking for here. You know what I mean? It doesn't say in the Roman documents that on this day they crucified the Son of God. So,
yeah, I don't think there was like a legal, sort of a legal, what's the word? Like a imperative to cataloging everybody who they nailed up to pieces of wood. They didn't care they didn't care about them.
Well, I think they probably. I think what Elijah's saying is that they did catalog everyone that they nailed to pieces of wood.
They pretty much did. But it's extremely vague.
But it's the kind of information that if you were trying to start a religion, like you could pick a name off the list and be like, let's use this poor sod.
Well, I was just going to say the flip side of that coin is I think most major historians would agree that someone in that time, in that period, did inspire the writings, and the reasons they give for that is
to me, like I said, the existence doesn't matter. It's like another character in the book is a historical figure, Diogenes, the Greek cynic.
Existed.
There's very little information on him, and people don't know for sure whether or not he existed. And for him too, like he's an interesting figure, regardless of his existence.
Isn't Plato just a creation of Socrates, or the other way around, supposedly?
Well, I think I may have kind of remember reading something like that, but again, it's sort of irrelevant.
Yeah, it's something I call. I've had this thing. I don't know if it's a real thing or if it's something I came up with. Either way, I say that it's an idea that I've been using. I call it the King Arthur effect. Doesn't matter if it was a real person or not. That's irrelevant.
Yeah, right.
That you have to go back to the idea that some person inspired these events and inspired these writings.
Yeah.
At some point down the line. And it could be a plethora of people rolled into one giant Flash Gordon character, I guess,
Or like
That's
Jeff
fair.
Dunham's puppets, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's cute. None of this was funny to you guys. Like, all right, I want to talk about the book. I want to talk about the book chronologically, and
no, I want to talk about it too. But let me just say this: I will, in the interest of full disclosure, I was primed not to like this book. It was back in my Borders days.
That sucks. That just sucks.
Well, okay, let me explain why, and I think you'll understand.
Okay. Back
in my Borders days, there was a big vampire craze. And as a result of like Twilight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Moore, like I couldn't remember what it was about him that made my stomach turn when you recommended it. Mm-hmm. And then when I saw it at the book, like other works by Christopher Moore, it was a book called You Suck, a love story, and it has like vampire teeth on the cover. It just seemed like such a shitty cash in of like the vampire craze that I automatically kind of assumed his writing was garbage. But I went into this book saying, I mean, I knew that, but going into it is like, okay, well, you never know because, like, the I don't know, the test for whether comedy is good or not is pretty simple. You don't have to analyze it. It's like, does it make you laugh or does it not make you laugh? And I wasn't trying to not laugh. But it literally just didn't make me laugh. I don't know. It wasn't funny to me.
Well, that's another thing.
I went into it not liking the dude, knowing nothing about him other than.
But see, that's shocking to me.
You Suck, a love story.
Even if I didn't know anything about any of the characters in this book, I found it to be a pretty funny story. I mean, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe it is because it's so irreverent to such religious, highly touted figures, but. Regardless, I think story writing wise and the way the story flows, it's not bad. Agree or disagree? I mean, even if you're not laughing, if you're just reading it for a story.
Yeah, again, that goes back to the whole thing about just being sick to death of
of Twilight.
The Bible. Like right now, like in Alabama, if you turn on the radio, there's like literally like 4 or 5 channels of like just people.
I know. I listen to
praying.
It when I'm home.
It's like, like the prayers that come out of a mosque or whatever. It's on, and this is like 8:00 on a Tuesday night. You can, if you want to hear somebody praying, you can turn on the radio in Alabama. It's just annoying,
Dylan, I think Ansel kind of stole the show there for a minute, bashing the book. I want you to bash a little bit.
Okay, full disclosure, I listened to this on the audiobook because I tried and I just wasn't feeling
You cheater.
The work required by actually reading it.
You know what? I mean, this is episode 8. I've read every book we've done.
Well, yeah. You stay up on that high horse, buddy. Every book we've done, I've read it. No, it's fine. I don't mind audiobooks. I'm just messing with you. Okay, go ahead. I think it was a combination of things. I think it was my lack of knowledge of the Bible. I think there were references and jokes that I should have gotten that I didn't get because I was not aware of the source material. Mm-hmm. There was some, I don't know, it was like he was trying to be absurd on a Douglas Adams, Kurt Vonnegut kind of level, and it just came off as more silly than just truly gonzo absurd. Yeah, and to say like Douglas Adams or Kurt Vonnegut, I don't know if it said it in your audiobook, but in my copy of the book that I bought and read,
it's on the back. It said it compared the writer to Kurt Vonnegut and Douglas Adams. So like that's the thing is maybe you want to give it a chance after the whole "You Suck" a love story thing, and then reading it, I was just like, this is nothing like Douglas Adams or Kurt Vonnegut. And it reminded me, I have on my notes, James Blunt. Do you guys know who James Blunt is?
That's the dude that sang the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's true.
Yeah. No, I don't know who James Blunt is.
See, I like this book, and I don't know who that is, honestly.
Okay, well, that's fine, because I think he's Scottish.
Score one for me.
Scottish singer-songwriter. Anyway, like, when I worked at Borders, there was we got a promo of his album. I can't remember what it was called. But we got a promo CD, and the write-up on the front of the album says this is like the second coming of Elliott Smith and somebody else that I really liked. And I was like, okay, this must be badass. So I popped it in, and like not even like 2 songs in, I just was so like embarrassed that I actually put that in the CD player, and I had to turn it off. And it was kind of the same thing. Like they were to call Christopher Moore like a Kurt Vonnegut or Douglas Adams type. That's so far off the mark that it's kind of funny. Anyway,
yeah, I don't
did that
see
make you
anything
laugh
in there
while you were reading
there.
the book? Like,
yeah, a little bit. It's like, yeah,
that's funny, guys.
and it's not like I mean, let me just say in case. In case Christopher Moorheads like get or like you just don't get the humor. Like I got it. I understood what he was trying to do. I was like, okay, yeah. Like judo, JEWDO is the non-offensive form of kung fu. Yeah, that's not funny, Christopher Moore.
and on that note, there was some, I don't know, like offensive language. Not really offensive language, but there's just a offensive tone to certain bits of it. Like there was one scene where he was in the hotel room, like one of the what do you call that, an interlude, where he's kind of talking about current day times.
Oh yeah, okay. So he's in the hotel room in St. Louis where he's rewriting his gospel since he was left out of the Bible.
And he's making a commentary on the scene in particular I'm thinking of. He's making a commentary about hip-hop music and how even though like he was sent back to earth with the gift of tongues so that he could speak and understand all languages on earth, he couldn't understand Ebonics. And like that just struck me as like somebody that sounds like somebody that voted for Trump would say that.
Now see, hold on. Now see, he understands Ebonics perfectly well, but he's asking what do the words? He knows the words. He just wants to know what does it mean. Must he bust a cap in someone's ass? And
yeah, I think you're finishing my point for me.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
I mean, he understands it. He doesn't understand what it's referencing. But okay, I'll concede that point that
maybe
was
a little tone
bit
deaf.
off kilter.
Yeah, that's the term I'm looking for, tone deaf. Yeah. And on the audiobook version, there were several instances of that, and part of that might have been on the reader of the audiobook, because he was kind of doing like the East Asian voices, and it was very stereotypical, like 1960s Hollywood East Asian.
What was the detective's name? But I don't know. It might be Christopher Moore may have been in the recording booth going more racist. What was it? Okay. There was a mystery. There was like a Columbo type, but he was an Asian. He's an Asian detective, and but it was a white dude playing him. Charlie Chan, that's what it was. Charlie Chan.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of like. I've never actually seen it, but it's just something that I don't know if they have that exaggerated, ridiculous accent, but
like some invisible tape to hold the eyes so that where they
stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway,
so yeah, those are my main gripes with the book.
All right, let's backtrack a little bit. I failed to mention, and I didn't really give a synopsis of the book because I thought this would go well, that you guys would like it and talk about the book.
I'm okay with this. I just like the thing that I'm worried about. Let me just say this, and I'll shut up for a minute. like my kids are making fun of my daughter Sadie for liking Taylor Swift, and I don't want to like. I don't want you to feel bad about liking Taylor Swift, Elijah. It's fine. It's like that's what I told Sadie. Is like if you like what you like, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Even it doesn't. If you like it, that's good. Forget what people say. And I'll say the same thing to you. I don't want you to stop liking Christopher Moore, but just because I said he was like Jeff Dunham. But I can't. I mean, I can't just sit here quietly while Dylan's the only one trashing the book. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think less of you for liking this book, and I mean that. I mean, I'm sincere when I say that, but it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough.
I do think less of you, man. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
That's also fine. All right. We do need to backtrack for a second, and here's why. We're talking about Biff, and Biff being we just mentioned that he's writing his gospel, and so we failed to mention. I failed to mention. I'll take this one. That Biff was dead and was brought back to life in modern day St. Louis by the Archangel Raziel to write his gospel, and I don't remember what year. We'll say early 2000s. Because Jesus in heaven had determined that it was finally time for everyone down here to know the whole truth. And that's why we say, okay, he was brought back with the gift of tongues and became George Wallace in a St. Louis hotel room. I've got this little bitty snippet. It's a little bit to read, because I think this is it gives a good idea of what kind of humor this is for those out there who would like to read the book despite what Ansel and Dylan.
No, this is good. I would like to hear your highlight from the book.
All right. So this is a highlight from the book, and this comes from when they were kids. Levi, who is called Biff, Joshua, or Jesus Christ's best friend. And they're 5, 6, 7 years old, and they're playing. They play, but they're little Jewish kids in not Israel. They're little Jewish kids in wherever, Nazareth, and so this is the game they play. They play the stories from the Old Testament, and of course Joshua is always Moses. So here it goes. I'm going to read this for you. Let my people go, said Joshua as Moses. Okay, you can't just say okay. I can't? No, the Lord has hardened your heart against my demands. Why'd he do that? I don't know, he just did. Now let my people go. Nope. I crossed my arms and turned away like someone whose heart is hardened. Behold, as I turn this snake into a snake. Now let my people go. Okay. You can't just say okay. Why? That was a pretty good trick with the stick. But that's not how it goes. Okay. No way, Moses. Your people have to stay. Joshua waved his staff in my face. Behold, I will plague you with frogs. They will fill your house and your bedchamber and get on your stuff. So that's bad. Let my people go, Pharaoh. I sort of like frogs. Dead frogs, Moses threatened. Piles of steaming, stinking dead frogs. Oh, in that case, you better take your people and go. I have some sphinxes and stuff to build anyway. Damn it, Biff, that's not how it goes. I have more plagues for you. But I want to be Moses. You can't. Why not? I have the stick. Oh. That's funny. Yeah?
100% changed my mind on this.
Yeah, that's 180.
Yeah? Okay,
that was pretty amusing.
I totally knew it would. I totally knew it would. Ansel, you got any lyrics for us this week?
That little excerpt you read, it did remind me of another reason why I didn't like the book. Is very, very dialogue heavy, and it.
Yeah, it's extremely dialogue heavy.
That's just not my jam. That's probably like personal taste.
I don't know. I think I liked this particular book. Maybe it was just the medium or the delivery system. I think if Elijah read the book to me, I think that would be great, because that sounded pretty good. I was into that.
We can arrange that.
So
We can arrange that. You didn't even find it funny when they let the demon out of the palace, and it ate all the Chinese girls, and then told the Jewish kid that it hadn't had a Jewish kid for a couple of 100 years, and Chinese girls are delicious, but yeah, he was hungry.
After you eat Chinese, you get hungry again. Again, that was like, I saw what he was trying to do, and I was just like, I see what you're trying to do, Christopher Moore.
How is that not funny?
That's not funny to me. It's like I've written down Mel Brooks. I think this is one of the last notes.
Are you saying Mel Brooks is not funny?
Huh? Say what you will about Mel Brooks.
Okay,
if you take like
I will.
You take like the most recent couple of Mel Brooks movies.
Being
it's that kind of humor to me. You know, it's like
what were the most recent ones?
I don't know.
Like
Robin Hood Men in Tights or something. Like you take the worst jokes from that and make a 400-page book like around those types of jokes. Again,
Abe Lincoln. All right.
If I was that close to a horse's wiener, I wouldn't be pissed off. I'd be worried about getting pissed on. Stuff like that. You remember that?
Yeah, that was not the high point of David Chappelle's career. But I mean, it was funny in moments. That was Dave Chappelle.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle was Achu? Was that his character's name?
Yeah. His father was a sneeze. I mean, yeah. But then, I mean, like, look at some of the underlying things in this book, too. One of Joshua's best friends, I would say, one of his champions throughout the book is the Roman centurion, the legate, or not legate. I'm thinking about Fallout. What was the centurion's name? Justice Gaius Gallicus or something like that.
Yeah, something like
that. That sounds about right.
Right, and then the whole scene where they go in there and accidentally knock the penis off of the statue, that wasn't funny.
Let's see, they were circumcising the statue, right, with a chisel and a hammer.
Yeah, so they were circumcising. I think the statue was for a Greek. A Greek had ordered the statue, right? And then
I don't remember the circumstances of the circumcision.
They sneak out with because they're stone cutters. Biff's father is a stone cutter, and he's learning stone cutting. So they take a chisel and they accidentally knock the entire penis off, and I think they're going to get in trouble for it. But then somehow the Roman centurion steps up for them, and I guess he kind of thinks it's funny.
I don't remember for sure. That was like pretty early on, wasn't it? I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I definitely have to say, like, the parts that stuck with me of this book were the traveling.
The later parts where they do where he goes to the east.
Right, when he's going to seek out the three wise men.
Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit. The premise behind that is Jesus has to learn how to be the Messiah because God's not answering his prayers, not telling him anything, and so, Joshua and Biff, they go where first? They go to Kabul, Afghanistan? Modern-day Afghanistan to Kabul.
And when I say that those parts stuck with me a little bit better, is that I remember them at all, apparently. Like, I don't know if that was Kabul or what.
They go to the Himalayas. At first it's Kabul, then it's the Himalayas, then they go to India.
Okay.
Right?
That sounds right, yeah.
So in Kabul,
my credibility here is our credibility as a book club is like dwindling because we don't remember anything about the book. But credibility, schmedibility.
Well, this really reminded me of Luke going to Yoda and having to learn the ways of the Force.
So that's how we're going to turn it to Star Wars.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, it just in every way it screamed Yoda, and at this point is where I say that's why I like this book. This is just it's just like Star Wars. It's the classic story of a hero, and but instead of space magic, it's God magic. And
okay. I think I can't believe I'm the first person to bring it up.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought somebody would bring up Life of Brian in the first 30 seconds for God magic. Like, I mean, this what Christopher Moore was trying to do here has already been perfected. Like, what, 60 years ago? No, not that long. 40 years ago.
Yeah. 40 years.
This is kind of like a Life of Brian Light, Lite.
I hate when
just
people
prefer
spell
Life
light
of Brian
that way.
What's that?
I hate when people spell light that way.
Well, that's why, I mean, don't blame me. That's why Christopher Moore for writing Life of Brian Light.
No, I think that's a good point. The it's a fair analog, and Monty Python did it much better.
Okay.
What other aspect of the book do you want us to just absolutely take a shit on?
Let me before you answer that, are you a fan of his work generally? Do you read other Christopher Moore books?
This is the only Christopher Moore book I've ever read.
Okay.
Ever.
So you haven't read Practical Demon Keeping?
I have not read any of them. I have not read Fluke. I've read Lamb, and this is my...
Have you read Bloodsucking Fiends, A Love Story? He was kind of ahead of the Twilight.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's got a list here.
It's a 1995 novel.
Okay. Well, maybe I was wrong to judge him for that.
How about The Lust Lizard of Melancholy Cove?
No, but that sounds promising, actually.
The Stupidest Angel, A Heartwarming Tale of Christmas.
That's a prequel or sequel about Raziel, the angel from this book, I believe.
Yeah, not too interested in what
I could be totally
Raziel, to be honest.
Could be totally
really
wrong.
Pique my interest.
Yeah. I could be totally wrong there.
He did come out with Bite Me, a love story in 2010, capitalizing on the Twilight wave.
There's You Suck, a love story. I think that's the one that is. Click on it. It's the one that has like vampire teeth. Yep. I put that book on the shelf and I said, "No, you suck."
All right.
Okay.
Let's get back to
clubbing this book. You guys are clubbing this book. You're doing a great job.
Clubbing it to death.
Yeah, you are.
I don't have any more notes. I have, let's see, James Blunt, Bible Belt, Geico, Animaniacs. I don't know why I wrote that.
What's wrong with
Mel
Animaniacs?
Brooks? Oh, American.
Aren't they doing a reboot of Animaniacs?
I don't know.
I think so. I think that's true.
I don't know why I wrote Animaniacs. But I don't remember. But I do have like another thing I was going to bring up is like it's kind of like what he was trying to do is kind of like Forrest Gump. He was trying to Gumpize the Bible. You know, it's like Biff was like he had a crucial role in all of the events. Well, not really all of the events, but it was kind of like that. Like he was sort of behind the scenes. Inspiring John Lennon songs and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just, and I'm kind of on the fence about Forrest Gump. I know it came out 20 years ago. I'm not so sure. I don't know if that's a good movie or not. It's kind of like on the threshold between good and not good. You know, do you feel that way about Forrest Gump? I'm still undecided.
That's all I remember. That's all I remember about Forrest Gump was him making sex noises at his principal until he ran away. I don't know. I hate it because I live in Europe, and when I say I'm from Alabama, everybody's like, "Oh, sweet home Alabama, Forrest Gump." Yeah. So, not my favorite movie right now.
Man, I'm exhausted from talking about Lamb, the Secret Gospel according to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. I just feel like I feel like it's kind of worn me out a little bit. I just gotta say.
Well, I don't think I'm hiding it very well. I'm distraught, fellas. This one hurts. I thought I got a good one for you.
Like it's not like a thing where we're judging your taste.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
No, I'm more concerned for you guys. It's not me. Don't get me wrong. This is I don't know what to do for you at this point. The book is funny, and your lack of historical and biblical knowledge, I knew of beforehand that it was there, but I didn't know it was this crippling to you guys, comedy wise.
See, jokes should transcend.
I said before we picked this book that this is historic comedy. This was the genre out of the three options I gave you, and you picked the genre you know jack shit about, and you didn't like it. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Elijah.
I love this book, and I don't feel like I have to defend it. I was just thinking, it was my second time reading it. This is actually my third time reading it, and every time I've read it through, I have laughed my ass off. The character Biff, the character Biff himself, is so funny in his always trying to get laid. He's always hitting on Mary, the mother of Jesus, in front of Joseph, in front of Jesus and everyone, talking about how he's going to marry her when Joseph dies. He's always the counterbalance to everything that Jesus Christ is supposed to be. And
I'm not an eye roller. I don't roll my eyes, but just you rehashing the things that he did, I have to actually really try hard. I have to force my eyes straight to keep from rolling. Sorry.
Hold on. Through the novel, Jesus Christ learns how to be the Messiah by learning to not be like Biff. And that makes him a hero for the novel, and the way the character is written is just absolutely hilarious. So,
all right, let me ask you this, and this I understand the gravity of me asking you this. I understand that the future book club is on the line.
Do you? I'm seriously.
But just a simple yes or no question here.
I'm seriously.
Have you ever found yourself asking somebody, "Hey, have you seen that new Geico commercial?" Is that a conversation starter you've ever had? I'm sorry. I'm just being an asshole. I'm sorry, Elijah.
I actually have. We do the hump day bit. We do the hump day bit at work. No, we do the hump day bit at work with the camel that comes in.
We're going to cut that out.
No.
All right,
yeah.
So
go ahead.
You haven't read other Christopher Morris stories.
No, I haven't.
Christopher Less, am I right?
I don't know where to go from this. You're worried about our comedic sensibility. We, on the other hand, are worried about your comedic sensibility. What other books do you find?
Come on, we all like Life of Brian. Okay, that's
of course.
That's one level of comedy, but this book is granted more slapstick humor. I guess it's been described as slapstick, and I don't entirely agree with that. I think it is. It's not necessarily. Well, I don't know. Whoever compared it to Kurt Vonnegut and Douglas Adams is just way the fuck off to begin with, because it's not even close. It's not even the same kind of comedy. But who is Jeff Dunham? Seriously, that's not even comedy. That's just racist bullshit. And I don't know. I don't see this as much as being. I don't see this book as being even remotely comparable to such garbage. Just hot garbage. I mean, come on, give me. I mean, if you don't like the humor, that's fine. That's one thing. But to call it Jeff Dunham,
I don't know, man. It's Jeff Dunham.
I mean, okay. Here's Jeff Dunham. He's tone deaf with the Ahmed, the dead terrorist bit, and
just on a more on a less specific level. You don't have to point out the similarities. Just the general comedic prowess.
It's like it's designed to offend people who are much easier offended than I am. Or maybe not even that, because I can't put my finger on it.
It's the sense of humor. That's the only way I can say it. It's the same. If you laugh at Silence I Kill You, you're gonna laugh at.
Okay,
here's judo.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No.
I think I'll grant Jeff Dunham that. That's pretty.
I'll give you earlier. You mentioned Mel Brooks.
So much.
You mentioned Mel Brooks. It's closer to Mel Brooks. It's closer to Mel Brooks' early humor, not Robin Hood Men in Taxi.
No, I was thinking later humor.
It's closer to earlier humor. I know what you were thinking. You were wrong. It's fine. It's closer to his earlier stuff. It's closer to Young Frankenstein. Sort of irreverent.
Not everything about Mel Brooks is funny, right? In any one of his movies, there's something that is not funny when it tries to be.
I think Spaceball is pretty much. It's been a while since I saw it, but I think it hit the nail on the head.
All right, this is when Pizza the Hut ate himself to death.
Don't go back.
It's not really that funny.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. However, Young Frankenstein.
Spaceballs is horrible.
Moment in that. Yeah, I watched it not too long ago and was like, oh god, this is not funny at all. But Young Frankenstein. There's not a moment in Young Frankenstein that I'm not laughing. Blazing Saddles. You
I like
mentioned
Young
Blazing
Frankenstein.
Saddles.
It's funny.
Blazing Saddles can't be done today because of all you snowflakes, but.
Well, no, it's not even that.
I
just
funny.
think.
No, it is.
I think
you guys are.
Well,
you guys,
I saw Blazing Saddles in the
griping.
theater. Like they re-released it after Gene Wilder died, and
right. Yeah.
And I went to see it in the theater, and it wasn't as good as as its reputation would suggest. Like, and I saw it as a kid, and I thought it was funny, but like now it just doesn't hold up. And it's not because people are oversensitive; it's just because of the mores have shifted. We have a new comedic paradigm, I guess, and that doesn't fit in with it. It's not that it's worse now, or it's just different, comedy, things that are funny always changes. Like I've never read a Shakespeare comedy and laughed, or I've seen a Shakespeare comedy I've seen Shakespeare comedies acted out on theaters, and they're still not funny to me.
They're all played out.
Yeah, they're all played out. That's very nice. But it's kind of the same. That's kind of the point I'm making. That comedic sensibility that Christopher Moore is about and of, and is that he is taking part in. I don't know how to say it, but that comedic sensibility to me is played out. It does not fit in with the new paradigm of what's funny and not. And interestingly, like Life of Brian still is, by modern standards, still is hilarious, if not more so, I think.
And I think the reason for that is that the Life of Brian sticks to the religious commentary more so than how it reflects on the present day.
Yeah, and it's satirizing something from 2,000 years ago that hasn't changed really. That, I mean, I guess, evangelical Christianity is different than the Catholic Church and stuff like that. But, it's satirizing something that is still relevant and still, omnipresent today. I guess that's maybe why it holds up. Am I right?
I agree.
Yeah. No, I'm failing to see how you.
It's not funny.
Yeah,
it didn't make us laugh.
Christopher Moore is not.
But I think you're digging yourself deeper in a trench. You're saying that The Life of Brian is a completely different style of comedy for what reason? I mean, this is the exact same period of time in history.
Yeah, no. The content or the subject matter is the same.
The content is lost on you two. You have no idea.
Well, I mean, okay. Life of Brian is satire. This is
satire.
Cutesy. This isn't satire. This is
satire.
This is like, what if we it's like, what if we dress a dog up in like a tutu or something like that? Is that kind of humor? I don't know. It's not satire. It's just like
I will concede the
satire.
point that
having John the Baptist run around calling everyone sluts. That's satire.
I just want to say I will concede the point that I may not know enough about the Bible to really get some of the jokes.
And I will also concede the same point.
Okay.
But
I love you.
Why then? How so then was Life of Brian so funny? We understood enough about it, but yeah, maybe we don't really get like the thing with Mary Magdalene. You said Elijah, she had demons and stuff. Like I didn't know that. I'm just going to come out and say it. I didn't know anything about Mary Magdalene other than like I knew she and Jesus were like had the hots for each other or something like that. But
like I think all I know about Mary Magdalene I get from Dan Brown novels that I haven't read.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. I know what books I have to steer clear from now on.
No, don't do that,
steer clear from anything.
I enjoyed shitting on this book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm concerned for you two. I really am.
Look,
okay,
here's
so
the thing. Books that make me laugh, like it's a very exclusive club. Like you got Slapstick by Kurt Vonnegut. You got Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. And and I'm talking about like gut busting, have to put the book down kind of laughs. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is a kind of a sidetrack, but Mom and I were talking about this play that Woody Allen wrote that I read when I was probably 13 or 14 or something like that, and it cracked me up. I thought it was hilarious, and I think it was called Death Knocks or something like that. I'm kind of interested to go back to see if it's still funny. But we were both talking about like what a shame it is that Woody Allen turned out to be such a horrible person, such a horrendous creep.
Yeah.
But I mean that was it was funny. Even now, like I'm curious if I go back and read it with the history. Like I'm stuttering and stammering a lot, but I'm trying to say like I wonder how much my automatic dislike of Christopher Moore played into my disapproval of it, and I'm thinking not very much because I'm pretty aware of what I'm pretty self-aware, and I wasn't like crossing my arms. I was giving it a fair shake, and it just didn't make me laugh. So,
okay. It kind of reminds me of I was. This is kind of a convoluted story. I remember when the Arcade Fire put out the album for the Neon Bible, and I was reading into that a little bit and found out that the name was taken from a novel written by, what's the guy's name?
John Kennedy Toole, I believe.
Yeah, real Toole. And so I started doing some looking into Mr. Toole and found that he had a novel that came out that was very highly regarded and spoken of in the same vein as Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, Douglas Adams, shit that's right up my alley. So I picked up and read Confederacy of Dunces, and it was so disappointing, and it was one of the worst books I've ever read.
Well, a similar story. A friend of mine, I asked a friend of mine we had similar tastes in music and stuff and movies, and I asked him what was the funniest book he ever read, and he gave me his copy of Confederacy of Dunces, and it was I read about half of it. I'm like, I
finished
sucks.
it with a straight face. Just show me where's the goose.
Yeah, and that's like the opposite of Christopher Moore. I was super primed to laugh my ass off, but it never happened because it wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm. I've never read it, so I can't comment on that. So we are out of time for this week.
Is there not anything else you want to?
No, no, I'm done. I want to know what next.
I also
I
wrote this
what we're
note.
reading next, so I can go ahead and start hating it.
Hold on a second. I also wrote Kaiser Soze, but I don't know why I wrote that. But I just thought I'd put that out there so I can throw the notes away. Now that it's all. That I have.
What does that say?
It says American. I don't remember what that is either. So Kaiser Sose, Diogenes, Jeff Dunham, Geico, Bible Belt.
I think you need a better note system.
I agree. Anyway,
you were in the process of passing that conch over to me.
We're gonna wrap this up. Ultimate spoiler in the end, Biff kills Judas. So next week, or 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, we will be reading another book. And at this point, I assume I'll be reading it, and you guys will be listening to it. And
No.
And effort was made to read Lamb. The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal, which we didn't get to. That is the most convoluted fucking title to a book ever. Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. If you have to explain the plot, have to explain the plot in the title, you got to go back to the drawing board, man.
And also, before you can pass that conch, hold
Mr. Moore,
hold the conch.
Mr. Moore, don't listen to them. I love the book. It's a great book.
So
good
before you pass that conch, we have to do our ratings.
People go out and pick a copy of the book and then write it and find us on Reddit. Find us on the interwebs. You can find us at our Google or our Gmail account or all that stuff. Bookclubcast.com and just let my brothers know how off base they are. And,
your
rating.
I'd like to
tweet us hashtag Lamb at Bookclubcast.
No, tweet us with the hashtag Lamb, the story of Biff, Christ's childhood pal.
All right.
And using your rating 10 characters to tell us how we're wrong.
I think there will be some rude comments left. Okay.
Wait, we have to do ratings before you can pass that conch.
Do ratings. Do your ratings.
You first.
Nope.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to have to think on this for a moment.
All right, I'll give mine. I give this 10. This might please you. I'm going to give it 10.
I doubt it.
10 Hadokens. I guess 10 Hadokens. Let me explain. Hadoken is the fireball that Ryu throws in Street Fighter. And the frustration and the disapproval of reading this is the same kind of frustration and disapproval that you get playing somebody in Street Fighter who only knows how to throw the Hadoken. And so, or maybe else you give it 9 Hadokens with an accidental dragon punch in there. But 10 Hadokens, or not, whatever. That's
no hurricane kicks?
No hurricane kicks.
No hurricane kicks. No, that involves a different direction.
Yeah.
So that's what I give it.
Okay, I got one now. My rating is a picture of a chicken leg, like a cartoon chicken leg, in a pile of mashed potatoes with a big buster on top of it because this book had no meat and potatoes.
Mine was better.
All right. Well, I'm going to laugh in the face of adversity, and I am going to give Christopher Moore's Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. I don't even have a rating. Again, I don't have one. I'm going to give it 5 stars just to piss you guys off. No, that's it. I know my rating. I'm going to give this book 1 out of 3 disappointed brothers. Oh,
very good.
1 out of 3 disappointed brothers. Oh, okay. You're the one disappointed in us for reading it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I get it.
All right. I love the book. I love the book. Everybody, check it out. And again, let them know how wrong they are. Passing the conch.
For real, tell us what you think. Tweet your ratings at us. We're at Bookclubcast.
On all the social media, we are Bookclubcast. We're easy to find.
That other
3 words stuck together.
Yeah, that other book club podcast that the BBC thinks they're running, they can
don't acknowledge that we know that because when we go to court.
No, we're taking it back. It's not even a book club. They just talk to authors. That's not what a book club is. I think a court would rule in our favor.
Might as well be listening to the. Never mind.
Hey, BBC, at me, bro.
All right, passing the conch. Dylan, what's next?
All right, I've got this big old fat conch in my hands, and I'm going to flip the script this episode. Y'all don't even know what's about to happen. Our assignment for the next episode is...
Is it on audiobook?
No, it's not, actually.
Shit.
It's going to be on TV. Your assignment is to watch season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Nope.
Season 1 of Game of Thrones is the assignment for book club.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. This is happening.
That's not.
No, I'm not going to do that.
That's a TV show. That's a TV show.
You're serious, aren't you?
I'm dead serious.
No,
I've got a perfectly legal way for you guys to watch it. We'll discuss that off the air.
No, Dylan.
Season 1. It's just a handful of episodes, easily done in 2 weeks, and we'll discuss it.
How many episodes is it?
1 moment, please. Probably about 10.
10 too many. Jesus Christ. Jesus hallowed Christ. All right.
Okay, yeah. I'll do it. I think it's bending the rules beyond...
Yeah, we agreed. Whoever's got the conch makes the shots.
Yeah. Got the conch. And y'all watching the Game of Thrones.
The thing is, I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to
This is
listen to
going to become a Game of Thrones podcast
Yeah.
starting next week, like from now on, or from then on, because we're all going to love it. Dylan already loves it.
You know I'm going to hate it.
Well, just take only what you bring with you when you go in to watch it.
All right. Next week's ratings, 2 disappointed brothers. All right.
I don't know if we covered that, but make sure to go over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating, because that's what we deserve.
Rating.
Give us
2
Haydokens.
5-star.
Yeah, well, see, the Apple Podcast rating system is a little antiquated. They stick to the 5 stars, so give us a 5-star rating, and then tell us what you would really rate us in the comment section.
Yeah, see, I gave it 5 stars because they asked.
But it would actually be like no meat and potatoes. There's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. Can I change my rating?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, cool. Can I have the conch back?
Yeah. It's all you.
All right. I got
careful.
I got it. I got the rating. You ready?
I think so.
3 bunny rabbits.
Okay, you have to explain that a little bit.
All right. In the book, what is it that makes Jesus so sad? He gets drunk and he's sad at the wedding because somebody died or somebody's getting, he's sad and he's drunk and he picks up bunnies and he starts saying, "Let it be written that whenever I'm sad, bunnies should be around." Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're sad.
I'm sad.
And you wish that instead of us, we were bunnies. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is my rating is 1 disappointed brother, 3 fluffy, cute bunnies.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 5 somethings. All right. No. Okay. So we're watching TV for next time.
Yeah, we're watching season 1. We're legally. I can't stress this enough. We are legally watching Game of Thrones on season 1. 10 episodes. I looked it up. 10 episodes.
This is such a
season 1
Duchamp move right here. I like watching.
I'm subverting the media.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really flipping the script on us.
I'm subverting the medium.
Well, my next pick will be a book. I'll just go ahead and let you know.
All right, so check us out at Reddit. We are r/bookclubcast. That's 3 words all together. Hashtag Lamb Gospel according to Biff, Christ, childhood pal, and let them know in one crude word how wrong they are about this book. Dylan, anything else for you? Take us out, Ansel.
I think
said all there is to say.
Let's consider this book clubbed.
Yeah, I think you clubbed the shit out of it. All right.
Like, we clubbed this book so hard that Paul McCartney's wife is going to come shut us down. Thank you for listening to the Book Club. We've had a good time with this. We hope you have too. We'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
Goodbye.